Welcome, everyone. Today, I want to share a story about a boy who couldn't speak English and a tool that changed his life forever. That tool was ChatGPT. He had no teacher and didn't go to any classes. Every day, he opened ChatGPT and practiced. One sentence at a time, one mistake at a time, one small conversation at a time. ChatGPT became his private tutor, his daily partner, his safe space, always ready to listen, correct, explain, and encourage. After weeks of simple daily practice, something amazing happened. He began thinking in English. He started speaking in English. He became fluent. And the truth is, if he can do it, you can too. This is not just a story. It is a full guide showing how to use ChatGPT to learn English from home. You can learn without fear, pressure, or confusion. Stay with me until the end. If you want to improve your English, subscribe now. This video could change everything for you. My name is Liam. I'm 22 and live in a small town where very few people speak English. For most of my life, I avoided English. I told myself I didn't need it, but deep down, I was scared of it. Here's how it really started. Why I decided to finally learn English. It wasn't to go abroad or to sound cool. It was because of my mother. My mom got sick. She felt pain in her chest, and we rushed her to the hospital. The doctor was kind but spoke only English. He said words like, "We need further tests. Could be cardiac? Family history?" I stood frozen. I didn't understand most of what he said. I nodded and smiled politely, but inside I was scared and confused. I looked at my mom. She trusted me to ask questions and speak for her. I couldn't. I couldn't even ask. What does that word mean? Is she going to be okay? Can you explain in simple English? That night, I sat outside the hospital on a cold bench and cried. I cried for her and for myself. I made a decision. This ends here. I will learn English. I will never feel helpless again. That was the beginning. I won the V and the Golf and RS. Not a course, not a lesson, but a mission. The next morning, I opened my phone and sat at my small study table. I felt tired, angry, and embarrassed. I remembered a video about ChatGPT. People said you can practice English with it. It won't judge you, I thought. What can I lose? Let me try. I opened the app. No camera, no pressure, just a blank box. I typed my first English message. I was scared. I wrote, "Hello, my English is not good. Can you help me speak slowly and simply?" A few seconds later, a reply came. "Hello? Yes, I'd love to help you. Don't worry. We can go slow, and I will explain everything." I felt hope, and that was the real beginning. Step 1. The daily morning routine that saved my confidence. That day, I decided to focus only on the start of the day. I had failed before by trying to do everything at once. I started small, quiet, and consistent. I promised myself every morning I will spend 15 minutes with ChatGPT. No Instagram, no YouTube, just ChatGPT. That's it. Here's exactly what I did. I wrote my first English diary with help. I told ChatGPT, "I want to write about my morning. Can you help me write a very small diary? I will write first, then you correct me." I wrote, "Today I wake late. I am feel sleepy. I drink tea and sit." ChatGPT replied, "Good try. Here's the corrected version. Today I woke up late. I felt sleepy. I drank tea and sat down. It explained why wake becomes woke, feel becomes felt, and drink becomes drank. It didn't make me feel stupid. It made me feel safe. I learned grammar without memorizing anything. After ChatGPT corrected my diary, I read it aloud, slowly and clearly. Before this, I never spoke English out loud. I only read in my head and wrote silently. This was my first time speaking real English sentences. I read it again and again. I stood in front of the mirror and read it. I recorded my voice and listened. It was slow, not smooth, but it was real. My mouth started to believe my brain. Every morning, I learned 5 sentences from ChatGPT. I asked, "Can you give me 5 useful English sentences for daily life?" ChatGPT gave examples like, "I'm running late. I don't have much time. Let's take a break. I'm not sure." Sounds good. Then I asked, "Can I try using these in my own sentences?" You correct me. I wrote, "I trying to running late today." Let's take break. ChatGPT corrected me. "I'm running late today. Let's take a break." I wasn't memorizing. I was building real language skills. I shadowed the sentences with my voice. Shadowing means repeating after someone. I asked ChatGPT, "Can you give me a short paragraph I can speak slowly?" It gave me, "It's a sunny day. I feel good. I want to go for a walk." I repeated it over and over. I spoke slowly, clearly, and loudly. After 10 minutes, I could say it without looking. "It's a sunny day. I feel good. I want to go for a walk." That became my morning routine. I did it every single day. After 10 days, I was not fluent yet. But I was no longer afraid of simple sentences. That was progress. Step 2. Practicing real conversations without anyone. Speaking was still my biggest fear. I told ChatGPT, "I want to practice conversation. I have no one to speak with." It replied, "Of course. Let's role play. I will be the waiter. You are the customer. Ready?" We began a restaurant role play. ChatGPT, "Hello, welcome. Would you like to see the menu?" Me, "Yes, please. I want burger and tea." ChatGPT gently corrected me. "I'd like a burger and a cup of tea, please." Then it asked, "Would you like anything else?" I replied, "Yes, one cake." It corrected again. "Yes, I'd also like a slice of cake, please." Each mistake became a learning moment. Each corrected line became part of my memory. I practiced that conversation for 3 days. I even printed it and stood in front of a mirror. I performed both roles, waiter and customer. I became the learner and the speaker. Later, I practiced airport check-ins, hotel bookings, job interviews, and doctor visits. But at first, I focused on restaurant English only. I wanted fluency in one situation, not 10. This method worked. After 3 days, I no longer feared ordering food in English. Step 3. Nightly reflection and building my English memory. After morning and afternoon practice, I noticed I was forgetting some things. I didn't want to start over every day. I wanted to keep sentences for life. I started a night routine with ChatGPT. Every night, I spent 20 minutes doing 4 things. First, I told ChatGPT what I learned that day. Today I learned, "I'd like a burger, please." I learned the difference between wake and woke. I also read a short paragraph about the weather. Then I asked, "Can you review if I understood correctly?" ChatGPT said, "Great job. You used I'd like correctly. Wake is present. Wake is present. Woke is past." ChatGPT asked me to make a sentence about today's weather. I said, "Today the weather is warm and windy. I am feeling good." Chat peaked. Perfect. This review locks learning into your brain. Second, I created a today's English page in my notebook. I divided it into 3 parts. A. Vocabulary. Example. Woke weather, burger, polite please. B. Sentences I learned or corrected. Example. I'd like a burger and a cup of tea, please. I woke up at 7:00 a.m. today. The weather is warm and windy. C. Questions to ask tomorrow. Example, when to use have had versus had. This notebook became my memory bank. It was based on my daily life, not books. If I wrote it down, I owned it. Third, I asked ChatGPT for feedback and encouragement. I practiced for 25 minutes today. Can you give me motivation? ChatGPT said, you're doing really well. Consistency is your power. Keep going. That made me feel seen and energized. Learning English was also about believing in myself again. Fourth, I read old pages aloud to refresh my voice. I'm feeling tired today. Can I have a glass of water, please? Reading old pages helped my pronunciation. It refreshed my memory and built stronger habits. Reflection at night made my learning powerful. Step 4. Training my brain to think in English naturally. I could write, read, and practice, but I still thought in my native language. I translated ideas into English in my head. By the time I finished, the moment to speak was gone. I told ChatGPT, I want to think in English, not translate. ChatGPT replied, start small. I started with objects around me. I looked at my room and tried to describe everything I saw. I spoke only in English, even if it was simple. I typed, help me describe my room in simple English. ChatGPT gave me sentences to follow. There is a brown table in the corner. A blue notebook is on it. The fan is running. The window is open. I stood up and repeated the sentences aloud. I said them slowly, paying attention to each word. Then I made my own versions. There is a cup on my chair. My phone is charging. The calendar says it's Friday. This was not grammar practice. This was real English in real time. My brain started making new English connections. I described my daily activities as I did them. I wanted to speak English naturally. I asked ChatGPT, give me 10 simple ways to describe my actions as I do them. It replied with helpful sentences. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm pouring water into a glass. I'm tying my shoelaces. I'm locking the door. I'm walking to the market. I tried speaking every action aloud. As I wore my shirt, I said, I'm wearing my shirt. As I walked, I'm walking to the kitchen. As I ate, I said, I'm eating slowly. The food is hot. This was my turning point. I was living inside English, not just learning it. I asked ChatGPT to translate my thoughts into English. I typed in my language, asking for natural ways to say them. For example, I feel lazy, but I must finish this work. ChatGPT said you can say, I feel lazy today, but I still need to get this done. I read it aloud. Then I created 5 more sentences about my feelings. I'm nervous, but I'll try. I feel a little sad, but I'm okay. I'm excited for tomorrow. I don't feel confident, but I won't quit. This is difficult, but I'm learning. I was learning to express my real self, not just simple sentences like apple is red. This was emotional English, my own English. Each night I added one more step. I sat silently for 3 minutes, observing my thoughts. Then I expressed them in English slowly. I feel peaceful right now. I think I'm doing better than last week. I hope I can speak better next month. I miss my old school. I'm proud I didn't skip today's practice. Every time I got stuck, I asked ChatGPT for help. It became my translator, teacher, and trainer. Before, I had to wait for someone to speak, think, translate, pause, speak. Now, My brain started thinking in English directly. Not fluently or perfectly yet, but enough to reply. For the first time, I felt like someone who could speak English. Step 5 was training my voice without a speaking partner. I could think in English, but speaking out loud was hard. My mouth felt blocked. My tongue felt slow. Words were in my brain, but I couldn't say them clearly. I felt stuck again. I had no speaking partner, no class, just my phone and ChatGPT. I asked, how can I train my mouth to speak clearly alone? ChatGPT advised, use voice-based training. Speak aloud. Use the mirror. Record yourself. Let your mouth learn what your brain knows. I stood in front of my mirror every morning, not to look good, but to train confidence. I said, good morning. My name is David. I'm learning English. I'm not fluent, but I'm not giving up. Today, I will practice speaking even if I make mistakes. Then I asked ChatGPT, give me 5 simple daily English questions to answer in front of the mirror. It gave me useful questions. What did you eat today? How are you feeling? What are your plans? What did you learn yesterday? What do you want to improve? I answered each question aloud, slowly, looking in the mirror. It felt strange at first, but my voice became my friend, not my enemy. I recorded my voice and listened without judgment. Then I asked ChatGPT, give me a short paragraph to read aloud. It said, it's a nice day. The sun is shining. I'm going for a walk. I want to enjoy some fresh air. I read it aloud into my phone. At first, I hated my voice. It was slow. Pronunciation weak. I sounded unsure, but I didn't delete it. I listened. Then I asked ChatGPT, can you help me improve my pronunciation? Which words are wrong? It corrected me gently. I recorded the paragraph again and again until my voice stopped shaking. After 2 weeks, I compared recording 1 with recording 14. I smiled. I sounded better, clearer, stronger. That was real proof. I shadowed real conversations with ChatGPT. I asked, give me a conversation about going to a movie, short and natural. ChatGPT gave A. Want to watch a movie tonight? B. Sure, what do you want to see? A. I heard the new action movie is good. B. Let's go for it. I'll book the tickets. I recorded myself saying both parts, checked rhythm, tone, and speed. I asked ChatGPT to rewrite it casually. It gave A. Feel like catching a movie later? B. Yeah. Sounds fun. Got anything in mind? A. There's a new action film out. Looks awesome. B. Let's do it. I'll grab the tickets. I repeated it again and again. Each time, my voice got stronger, my fear smaller, my sentences smoother. I didn't sound perfect, but I sounded like me. And that was enough. I practiced mouth movements and tricky sounds. I asked ChatGPT, help me practice sounds like R, A, and V. It gave me tongue twisters and pronunciation drills. 33,000 feathers fly through the forest. Rabbits run rapidly around red rocks. Very valuable voices vibrate with victory. I practiced slowly. 5 minutes each day. At first, my mouth hurt, but my muscles learned. Now I say through river or voice without pausing. I practice my mouth, not just my mind. Daily voice training removes fear and builds rhythm. It teaches you to trust your own sound. That's how I began sounding like someone on the path to fluency. Step 6. I built my personal English system with ChatGPT. Most people don't know fluency is more than speaking. Fluency comes from a system, a daily structure that trains you. Motivation fades, but a system gives consistent growth. I asked ChatGPT to help me design a daily English routine. It covered speaking, writing, vocabulary, correction, and confidence. Morning speaking. Write 3 sentences about my day. ChatGPT corrected them. Read aloud 5 times. Vocabulary. Learn 5 daily phrases with meaning and example. Use each phrase in a sentence. Ask for corrections. Role play. Do one real-life conversation. Ask for feedback. Repeat aloud in front of a mirror. Thinking practice. Describe what I see, feel, and do. Ask Chat GPT to improve my sentences. Speak out loud. Night reflection. Write what I learned and struggled with. Ask Chat GPT for review and encouragement. Read 3 sentences aloud before sleep. Total time, 55 minutes, done in parts. Morning, afternoon, night. Each part was connected. It felt like living in English. I built mental folders: food and restaurant, health and doctor, travel and airport, feelings and emotions, work and job interviews, friends and small talk, home and routine. Each folder had 10-15 sentences. ChatGPT helped me practice. Soon, my brain opened the right folder automatically. I scheduled practice like an appointment at 5:30 p.m. I told my family, "This is my English time. Please don't disturb me." It became real, serious, and non-negotiable. That's when I felt like a student of fluency, not a beginner. People without systems learn slowly and forget quickly. People with systems grow daily and permanently. Step 7. I trained for real-life English situations. I could read, understand, and talk to myself, but one fear remained. What if I freeze when someone speaks English in public? I had no control over their words, speed, or tone. I asked ChatGPT, help me train for real-life situations before they happen. It said yes, and we built real-life role-play rehearsals. I wrote situations that could happen this year. Talking to a tourist, asking for help at a station, ordering food, job interviews, speaking to doctors, college seminars, parties, talking to customers, answering class questions, complaining in a store. These were real situations. Without practice, I would panic. I told ChatGPT, let's practice each one like real life. For each, ChatGPT acted as the other person. I responded naturally. Example, talking to a tourist. I said, "You are lost. I work in a coffee shop." Practicing like this made me confident and ready. I built fluency step by step, mouth and mind together. With ChatGPT, learning became structured, supportive, and fun. I asked for directions. ChatGPT replied, "Excuse me, do how to get to the city museum." I paused. I thought in English. I said aloud, "Yes, go straight for 2 blocks, then turn left." "The museum will be on your right," ChatGPT asked. "Thank you. Is it open today?" I said, "Yes, it's open until 5:00 p.m. Then I said, "ChatGPT, correct my responses and help me sound natural." "Try this version." "Sure. Just walk 2 blocks straight, then take a left. You'll see the museum on your right. It's open today until 5:00 p.m. I copied it, practiced aloud, memorized the rhythm, and felt prepared. I did this for every situation on my list. Day by day, I became less afraid of real-life conversations. I created emergency English phrases. ChatGPT helped me make my emergency toolkit. Simple phrases I can use when I feel nervous. Can you repeat that slowly? Sorry, I didn't understand. Can you say it again? I'm still learning English. Give me a second. Can I write it down and show you? Let me check how to say that. These sentences saved me in real conversations. Even when nervous, I had tools. I wasn't empty-handed anymore. I practiced with background noise. I told ChatGPT, let's practice with loud sounds like in a train station. I played soft train sounds on YouTube. Then I practiced ordering a ticket. Me, 1 ticket to London, please. What time is the next train? ChatGPT. The next train is at 11:15. Platform 4. Me. Thank you. Can I pay by card? This may sound small, but it trained me to handle noise, confusion, and pressure. That's how I prepared for real situations. After this, I wasn't fluent yet, but I was ready. I didn't fear real life because I trained like an actor preparing for a role. When the real test came, I passed. Step 8. I made peace with mistakes and turned them into fuel. Even after practice, I still made mistakes. I said wrong words, forgot things, or mispronounced simple terms. I felt embarrassed once. Someone laughed, not cruelly, but because I said something funny without knowing. I went home thinking, maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe English is not for me. That night, I opened ChatGPT and wrote, I made a mistake today. Someone laughed. I feel like giving up. ChatGPT replied, every fluent person was once where you are. Mistakes are teachers, not failures. That message stayed in my heart. From that day, I promised myself I wouldn't run from mistakes. I would collect them, study them, and grow. I created a mistake journal. I wrote on top, my mistakes, my masters. Each day I wrote my mistake, what I said, what I should have said, what it means, and how to avoid it next time. Example, I said, I am boring instead of I am bored. The other person smiled awkwardly. Correction, I am bored, H-E-E-B word. I am boring, J-K, making others feel bored. I read my journal weekly. Each time I remembered the lesson and avoided the same mistake again. I asked ChatGPT to explain mistakes like a teacher. I said, explain this like I'm 5. It did. Suddenly, grammar wasn't scary. It became gentle, friendly, human. For example, I have many works is wrong. Work is uncountable. Say, I have a lot of work. Or he do his job is wrong. Correct. He does his job. Tiny things, but huge for understanding. I stopped trying to be perfect. That was hard. But I realized even native speakers make mistakes. They correct themselves mid-sentence, forget words, laugh, and move on. Why expect myself to be perfect? Now when I make a mistake, I smile and say, sorry, still learning. People smile back. I'm being real. Fear of mistakes used to keep me silent. Now courage makes me louder. I count not how often I'm wrong, but how often I stand up again. That's fluency. Step 9. I didn't just learn English. I built my identity in English. I wasn't born in an English-speaking country. No one in my family spoke English. I was a normal boy from a small neighborhood with a big dream. My dream wasn't just to learn English. It was to speak confidently, clearly, powerfully, without fear. I stopped thinking of English as just a language. I treated it as a new version of myself. ChatGPT asked, describe your English-speaking self. Who is he? I thought and said, he's bold, clear, unafraid, jokes, flirts, tells stories. Free. I realized I wasn't just learning grammar. I was building a version of myself I hadn't met. I named him English Liam. Every day I became him for 1 hour. I spoke, thought, walked, and acted like him. Mistakes didn't stop me. Accent didn't stop me. The more I stepped into that version, the more it became me. I celebrated every small victory. Even one sentence spoken to a stranger felt amazing. I corrected a mistake before ChatGPT did. I improved. My mindset made English joyful, exciting, alive. I was building myself, not just language. The day I knew I was fluent wasn't a test. It was a moment, speaking naturally under the stars. It came out like music, like breath, like me. That's when I became English Liam. Remember, ChatGPT isn't just I. It's your mirror mentor and practice partner. You don't need perfect grammar, expensive courses, or moving abroad. You need daily contact with English, real practice, real reflection, real improvement. And it's already in your pocket. Start today. Write one sentence, speak one reply, correct one mistake, celebrate one step. In 1 year, people will ask, how did your English become so good? You'll smile. I practiced every day with ChatGPT. Now it's your turn. Speak to ChatGPT today and watch your fluency grow.